Welcome to Receptions 101. With us today, we have Samuel Hansen, the man filming behind the scenes, and we're hoping to capture mainly how you can confidently film a reception, start to finish, and put it into one cinematic, stunning video. So your job, besides capturing the bride and groom special evening, is to capture the details and the events that are happening. Even if you might not use them in the final video, capture as much as you can. More is better for receptions. Today I am filming on the GlideCam HD4000 with the Devon Graham Series GlideCam head. I'm filming on the 5D Mark IV, which you know is my favorite go-to wedding camera, with a Canon 50mm 1.2. I have a battery grip on here so that I can last longer without having to change batteries and miss things. And I'll usually switch between my 50mm 1.2 and my Sigma 20mm 1.4, but mainly for most of this video, it'll be on the 50mm 1.2 for a couple reasons. One, it's crazy sharp and I'm obsessed with it. And two, because it has such a low aperture, it allows me to do great in low light. A lot of receptions get dark pretty quick, whether they're indoor or outdoor. So I love having a lens that can handle the low light and still provide a very crisp image. I'll also be filming this entire video at 60 frames per second. The dance party, I might switch to 24, but I'll keep you posted. So we're filming at a gorgeous venue. This is a greenhouse. It's called Cactus and Tropicals, sponsor. First up, we have this beautiful cake here, which they spent lots of money on. And there's usually three main shots I want to get when capturing the cake, and I'll show you those right now. So we want to get a full shot showing the cake and the scenery, like so. And then I love to get an up-close shot showing just the flowers and the details. I don't know why, but I love this shot. Apparently in weddings, there's a lot of symbolism with cutting the cake. That's kind of how the tradition started, is that it symbolizes your first meal together. So I've captured it. I might try a different angle, maybe a little bit wider. I love the depth I'm seeing in this image right here. You got the tree behind it, you got the distant windows. Whenever I see the bride and the groom happy to see people, I try to capture their reactions. Parker taught me when you're filming receptions and you're gonna film guests, this might sound terrible, but film the most attractive guests. For example, I wouldn't film a guest shoving cake in their mouth, right? I'd film an attractive couple, maybe dancing or talking or enjoying their time. So a question I get a lot is, how do you get clients? A great way to market yourself, if you're still in the infant stages of social marketing, social media, and building a good clientele, an amazing way is to display your work. So a lot of my clients, before the wedding day, will do a first look. The purpose of the first look is so that we can have pictures and video displayed at the reception of the bride and the groom in a beautiful location, showing off the dress and his reaction to seeing her dressed the first time. So when I film those things, I bring them to the reception and I put them on display. And so when people walk in the reception, they see this beautiful, stunning video playing of the couple, and they're like, wow, that's gorgeous. And then right under the TV, I have a stack of my business cards. And so they can take a business card if they love the video, which why wouldn't they? And they can give me a call or give me an email. I've gotten quite a few emails and booked quite a few clients from it, because one, they know the bride and the groom, so they feel like they're asking a friend for their recommendations, which they trust. And two, they get to see your work right there, right in front of you, blown up on this big, beautiful HD screen, and see an immediate thing to do with that information. The couple I'm filming today was because of that marketing method. So keep that in mind. Display your work, whether it's on social media, at receptions, and so forth. I learned it from a photographer, because pictures are always all over receptions of the couple, engagements, bridals, whatever. And he had lots of his business cards just throughout the reception, and he gets a lot of his clients that way. Oh shoot, I filmed all the cake at 24 frames per second, so we'll go back and do that again. Glad I found that out now. So I'm panning two different ways, because I want to see what's on both sides. You'll see an electric outlet on the right side, but then a beautiful green tree on the left side. So naturally, I want to use that green tree shot. Here we go. Let's get some more details. Can I borrow your rings?
Yeah.
Find the photographer. Have you seen the photographer that she ditched? Just really close up so we don't get the pot. Man, he has a big finger.
I know.
Look at that, it just like falls through. I don't know, you tell me. So what we're doing right now, Amber and I, is we took their rings, we'll give them back, and we're putting them on beautiful objects to get just ring detail shots. Show off their rings in pretty locations. We like this. We might change locations to a better spot, but stay tuned. So I'll show you, it's There's a little too much pot in there right now, but as you can see, it's still really pretty. Yeah, I think it's too potty for me.
Yeah.
I'll try to find another place. That's pretty.
That is so pretty.
So when you're filming these ring shots, you're carrying a couple $1,000s in your hands, so don't lose them. I'll show you a footage of one time I was filming it on a cactus bush, and the wind blew really hard, and it fell off. So compare this shot to the other shot, it's just not as potty.
Yes.
Ooh, maybe, let's try this real quick. So I like doing 2 shots. I like doing the wide so you can barely see it, and then doing a really up close one where it's the focal point. Another reason I love working with photographers is they have a lot better sense of composition, I feel like. They're taking frames, we're taking moments, and so I feel like they know more of how to place things and be creative with things to tell their story. We have the ability to capture emotion and use music, but they only have pictures, so they have to get really creative. And so I love learning from them what shots they like to get and those kind of things. Especially ones like Amber when they know exactly what they want. She's so good. Oh, your pictures turned out so good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh man. So a question I get asked sometimes is, okay, well, cool venue, but what if you're not shooting at a greenhouse? What if you're not shooting at a pretty venue? What if you're at this horrible, just dark, ugly place? I've been there. I shot this wedding and I felt like I was walking into the DMV. It was that bad. So what I did is put my wide angle lens away, put on my 50mm, and just did tight detail shots at the venue. There wasn't a lot of details. I'll show you what it looks like, but I just didn't want to show off how ugly it was, so I kept to the pretty parts and kept tight, if that makes sense. So a couple great things to know about shooting food. There's a huge difference between, let me show you, this, which is pretty, or this, still looks good, compared to add some depth and some foreground by putting food in front of it like this, and like this. There's just more depth to it. I'll show you more like this. See how much more aesthetically pleasing this shot is with foreground and background compared to just this. Big difference. Neither are wrong, one just sucks. Sometimes I want to put like text on top to introduce the couple, like this is Allison and Andrew's day. So I love deep green backgrounds behind my text, and so I look for those kind of things. All right, do you want to take a break and eat? Problem with this reception, it's super loud, so I might be yelling. Another great detail shot that I love to have is just the gifts. It's just a fun thing to show when you're doing detail shots. So as I'm glide camming, I usually tuck my arm in here, hold it in front of me with my weights pointing out, and with my left hand, my finesse hand, I'll just lightly touch it and turn it if I need to, like this. Just lightly. If I need to turn it, just barely. If I need to point it up, just barely with my thumb. The less you touch it, the better. The stance, very important. So as I'm panning, not only am I working my finesse hand, but I'm squatting and tilting my body to add to the movement, and then stepping really absorbently, so you don't have any like bumps. Your job essentially as a wedding videographer is to make today, their wedding day, look 10 times better than it actually was.
7:45, 8 o'clock, we'll probably be somewhere in there.
Cool.
We're going to do the cake cutting,
Okay.
then go into the bride and groom dance,
Okay.
combined parent dance.
Okay. So the DJ just talked to us. He gave us a schedule for the day. I always love making friends with the DJ and all the other vendors. A lot of the times, if you get really close to the photographer and the DJ, and you give them your business cards, they'll refer you to other people. So I just tried like 4 different angles with this disco ball, and I didn't like any of them. But I found this angle because it shows off the green in the background, the white sky coming in, just great depth, and even some bokeh. You can see those lights in the background, some bokeh. What do you think? If they're like here even, ooh, there's a sun flare. Now I want the sun flare. That's all I want, Amber. Let's have you sit right here. You on this side, Allison, Andrew on this side. Just kind of like looking at each other. It's just so pretty right here. Yeah, just like, oh, it's so cute, guys. Andrew, I want you to make her laugh for me. Maybe whispering something into her ear. I'm gonna come down. That was cute. That's a cool angle down there. One more kiss, guys. Excuse me, guys. Cake time. Also, you tell me. I think if they're standing kind of like this together, as opposed to like over here,
Yeah.
for this backdrop, you think?
I agree.
Just for him.
All right, let's give a big round of applause. All right, we're going to give them just a quick minute or two here to get.
So this next shot I get is just showing the cake being cut. Just kind of a fun detailed shot, the messy cake.
All right, we're going to throw the bouquet so we can have.
So with events like this, you've got to get as many angles of the same thing happening as fast as you can, because it only happens once. You got to mix it up really quick.
3. All right, come on up here. Picture with Allison. Okay, don't go too far. Come on up here. So take note, we have Chloe. Now we have Corbin. So
For these dances, I'm trying to get a lot of different angles because sometimes it's kind of hard to mix it up.
Without you here with me, you're my best friend. And you believe in me like nobody. Without you here with me, and if one door opens to another door closed, I hope.
Sorry if I keep on getting your shots. Okay, we just filmed the first dance, the bride and the groom, and the daddy-daughter dance, and the mother-son dance. With those dances, it's a little bit tricky because the photographer's trying to get the same shots you are. And I'm constantly spinning because they're constantly dancing and twirling. And so I'm spinning the opposite direction. If you spin with them, you'll just never catch up because you're on a wider radius than they are, spin-wise. So you want to go the opposite direction. And the moments I look for is when, I'll show you two examples of when she's talking to the dad versus when the dad's talking to her and she's just smiling. You can clearly see which clip I would include in the final video of her smiling at her dad, like loving him. Same with the son. Now the dance party is starting, so we're gonna jump in there in a second. Couple things, it's really loud in there, so I won't be doing a whole lot of talking because the music's just blaring. But a couple things to look for in dancing, you want to capture the most emotion. The craziest dancers, the funniest dancers, but also the most shots you can get of the bride and the groom dancing because it's their day. Make them look good. I'm gonna stick this to 60 frames per second even during the dance party, even though it's like a fast-paced party, just because if there's a shot in the editing room I want to slow down, I want that option. Sometimes there's like a little fun, like fast or backflip or something. It looks cooler in slow motion, and I want to keep that. Yes, people do backflips sometimes. So for this, there's a lot of little kids running around, and this can get very dangerous. It also limits me to get in the dance party because of this clunky thing hitting people. So for this part, I'm just gonna take it off the glide cam and keep it handheld. Dutch angle, right here. Every wedding, they decorate the car kind of crazy, which is fun. I love getting this shot. Just married, it's really classy. But every car, they'll put something, I might even blur this out, something grotesque. Show it real quick, yeah. Now sometimes it's very graphic and I usually don't put that in my video. Usually when they see it, it's in their memory and it's enough. So I don't feel a need to put it in a video that's on the internet forever. So just be wise about your couple. If they want to see graphic or crude language on their car in their wedding video, you decide. I know personally this couple just wants the classic just married driving away shot, so I'm not gonna film their grotesque language. Is that a good way to say it? But this is funny, like big sexy with glasses. This, not classy. Oh, something's happening. Can't miss it. I freaked out. I was out there and I'm like, what could they possibly be doing?
I think that we did everything, didn't we?
Hey guys, my lav mic just died, so now you're gonna use the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus on top of the camera. So they're finished the dance party. We're about to film the send-off. Almost every wedding I film, the send-off of the reception is sparklers. So there's 2 lines of people, both with sparklers, and the couple walks or runs down the middle. The problem is there's me and the photographer, and we're both like huddled in there, and we're walking backwards with sparklers behind us. So we're trying to be really careful not to get our heads burned, which has happened twice. People coming over there by that door. So since it's bright, I don't need to adjust my Kelvin because the sparklers aren't giving off very much light, and the sun's not all the way down yet. Savage. Man, I've been filming on these 2 batteries all day. I've only lost 1 bar. Nuts.
Holy
I don't know
cow.
why actually. That's usually not the case.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's actually really strange.
Did you shoot enough?
That'd be new.
Oh, they made a mess in this.
Do we stop it?
Alright guys, so there you have it. That is a look at how to film a reception. Basic takeaways, shoot everything. You want as much footage as you can to work with, to tell the story, to fill in the spaces, fill in the gaps. The details are the best way to do that. This whole video, I ended up never switching to my 20mm. I shot all of it on a very tight focal length. The venue was pretty crowded. There wasn't a lot of aesthetic wide shots, and so I chose to use 1 lens. Now, you might hate me for that, but let me tell you, when you use a prime lens, it forces you to be more creative with your shots. It forces you to find ways to get different angles and different shots so your whole video isn't just one big jump cut. So, be creative. If you can only afford 1 lens, now you know how to do it. Second thing, work with the photographer. I loved working with Amber. I loved working with Amber. She was very cool. She knew all the shots. She knew what she wanted, and I just piggybacked off her for a lot of the shots. So make sure you talk to them and build a good relationship. So there you go. I hope that was helpful for you. I hope you learned more about how to shoot receptions. Again, to be very clear, this is my style of how I do it, things that I've learned from Parker and taught myself through time and trial and error. So learn yourself, go out and shoot content, ask your friends to do the receptions so you can gain experience, build your portfolio, and I will show you the final video now. Until next time.
Look now, there's more to see. See how I used to be. There's a memory, something